We are back. Get things in order. I have a question. Do you find it that it's super duper easy to talk in terms of hurting someone's feelings or affirming someone's feelings? Like, is it hard for you to endorse someone and very easy for you to gossip about them? Is it hard for you to say I love you and easy for you to say fuck you? What's easier? Take yourself through the test. Uh, uh, hold the line. Okay, we're back. So, back to the original set of questions. How hard is it for you to say I love you? And how easy is it to say fuck you? Is it hard to show affection? Is it hard to maintain genuine connection? Is it stronger? Um, the hesitancy to endorse or encourage or just hold space uh, for something that isn't all that directly beneficial. Um, how about this one? How hard is it for you to receive accolades? Are you celebrated? Are you openly celebrated? Do you know how to openly celebrate? Are you even in tune to? Are you even interested in openly celebrating someone that you honestly love? Endorsing them, meaning you carry around their business cards for whenever the situation may rise. Do you say, call my so and so? Call my mom, call my sister, call my daughter, call my auntie, call my nephew, call my husband, call they into that type of thing. They're actually pretty good. Give them a call. Do you? Do you? Do you walk around with your big cousin's flyers because he doing open mic? Do you have your brother's business cards because he's a DJ or she's a hairstylist? Or like, because remember, we are inside of this learning curve of, and it's not even entrepreneurship for real. Because I think let's tap into that real quick. Because there is a difference. There is a difference between freelancers, business owners, just fundamental business owners, and entrepreneurs. I think we get it mixed up with figuring that those that step out to be in business for themselves or to work for themselves are automatically entrepreneurs. So, just so we can stay on the same page. So, an entrepreneur is a person who organizes and operates a business or businesses taking on greater than normal financial risks in order to do so. So not everyone is an entrepreneur, nor does everybody want to. I even had a cousin tell me maybe about 2 years ago, like everybody don't want to be in business. Everybody not on that. And then my best friend, I mean, I want to say within the last 6 months, he was talking about, he's finding out everybody don't want to be a homeowner. Everybody don't even and not even interested in qualifying to be a homeowner. That's not for everybody. So I begin this segment with those questions, mainly for those that are interested in how we can get their numbers up. And I know it's a bit bittersweet because I even think about my niece and my big sister. Um, they both are creatives in their own right, but together they plan events. My sister is a certified interior designer, and my niece is degreed in hospitality and corporate events. I want to say together. Now they have their projects separately. Together, they're noticing, especially for some of their more bigger events, they are noticing how, with them getting their numbers up, so must their staff, and how now them being the employers see the challenges with finding good support staff and making sure that they select the right accountant and the person they select to do their promotions. And so it came upon my mind, being a hairstylist for over 20 years. I have to continue to say that because it's part of my truth. And I personally don't want to forget that I invested 20 years in this career, full-fledged career. One of the things that was always part of my travels, I had my makeup artists, I had their business cards. The one who did locks and braids, I had their business cards. I had my barber's business cards. There was another one. The girl who did the weaves and shit. Because I didn't do any of that. I was a colorist, meaning that I was someone who had, I think, I want to say probably about 90% of my clientele came to me for color. And then the well-being of that color. So I didn't do locks, I didn't do natural hair, I didn't do any of those things, but having folks that I could immediately send them to, that worked out favorably. It worked out favorably for my barbers, my makeup artists, he even had a fashion designer, or well, I call him a fashion designer, but he made clothes. I mean, what else is that? That's a fashion designer. Even had a fashion designer on speed dial. So, and all of them were freelancers. Um, the Knight of Cups. Yeah, we were all emotionally invested in the well-being of our small portion of business that lent into the network. So I was just asking because I'm noticing how gossip and the rumor mill still seems to be winning. If we are all at a more higher rate, shifting paradigms to go into business for ourselves. And like I say, it does not have to be on the entrepreneurial level, but it does need to be sustainable. And it just strikes me odd at how strangers, it's probably not even the proper word, but that's what it feels like right now, that we are paying strangers to advertise with, or we are paying people outside of our clientele. When I was doing hair, I never advertised, but when I was doing hair, those that left out of my chair became my walking billboards. And they didn't mind. I had a little bowl or the card box where they could pull a couple of my cards out and take it with them. And anybody who stopped them and asked them about their hair, Just hand them a card. Call my girl and yeah, check her out. And it just seems like back in those days, it was done a little bit more frequently. And it wasn't about all of this competition and all of that fuckery. It wasn't about all of that. This is one thing I told my sister when she first started her interior designing business. And she wasn't worried about it, but it did come up in conversation about, competition and that kind of thing. And one thing I told her, be sure that those that are meant to work with you are going to find their way to you, and lo and behold, that is what she is experiencing right now. In the world of creativity, there is no competition because you have those that are attracted to the way you do what it is that you do. Now, when you find those folks, are those folks taking your flyers, your business cards, and promoting you? Are they wearing your t-shirts? Like what's happening with that? Every time you get out your barber's chair, you ought to have a few of his cards with you or a few of her cards with you. Shout out to the lady barbers. I love them folks. Them some of the coolest folks on the planet. Shout out to the lady barbers. But do you take a couple of her cards when you get up out of her chair? Do you promote her? Do you give her that soft promotion inside of the neighborhood that she deserves? Your t-shirt distributor. You know folks is looking for t-shirts. The local printers. And I I have a project right now with one of the local printers inside of the DMV, inside of DC, Maryland, and Virginia, inside of the DMV that my daughter put us onto. And when I say us, I'm talking about me and my big sister. So my big sister retired recently, and so she had a pretty nice function event to sell in celebration. And so my daughter, inside of her network, um, gave us the name of her printer. When I say me and my sister was so in awe with his professionalism, his quality of care, he felt like family. He felt like family. He was into certain courtesies that I know if we would have went to them folks around the corner, probably would have paid double and probably would have been a little rude because there is another local printers, and because there was no one else to go to, we were subjected to that smugness. Why? Because most of the time, if there are not any neighborhood um, services that can be a contrast to what's already set up, then yes, you have to be subjected to, and I'm just going to call it smugness, okay? Because I can get all conspiratorial and call it something else, but we're already oversaturated with all the other shenanigans that seem to keep all cultural denominations divided. But it is still a real thing. Like I would love a corner store with Uncle Jimmy operating it. I would love a corner store. I would love a corner store. I would love a bookstore. Even though Sankofa bookstore is probably going to be as close to Uncle Jimmy's bookstore that I'm probably going to get. And something tells me it's another one and it's just not coming to mind. But yeah, the Sankofa bookstore does it. But I'll say it again, I would love a corner store and Uncle Jimmy heading it up. He's the proprietor. And even though I don't particularly drink, but I would love a liquor store with Aunt Nell and Uncle Ace running that joint. I would love a curry out with Auntie Annie in that joint. So shout out to my girlfriend too. She just bought a food truck. She's always been catering. Even in high school, she was the house with between her and her mama, somebody was always in that kitchen. You could always tell the pots was jumping. Yeah, at Boom Boom's house. She just had to recently remind me that that was her name in high school. I was like, oh my God, we did used to call you Boom Boom, but it was one specific classmate that sparked that joint. Yeah. Hmm. Her dude, they doing it. Both of them. They cook really, really well. They prepare food really, really well. And she bakes cakes. And she have several contracts with a couple of local bakery, no, not bakeries, a couple of local carryouts that order cakes from her on a regular basis. And I am soon going to try to remember the next time we speak to ask her if her cards are set up in these places. And I say all of that to bring it back to my niece and my sister and how they're growing and how they are in need of staff. And when the numbers go up, you require support staff, front office and back office. I'm still wondering what the Knight of Cups, I'm still wondering what this actually means for this conversation because I honestly am all over the place. Um, I was provoked to hit record, and so here we are. Because it really is on my mind at what parts are we doing to support, and support does not always come in terms of finances, but I'm sure that's good too. I believe even with me hitting record and posting this, it's a small portion of promotion, even if I am indirectly having us begin to ponder how we promote. Are you wearing the t shirt? Are you proudly wearing the t shirt? Are you ordering the gear so that you can gift it? Are you paying for or covering a trip to the barbershop? Just asking. That's all I'm just asking. Um, because I know that it can become a little challenging for the solopreneur or the freelancer that is trying to figure out how these ends gonna meet. That's also, are you showing up to, and trust me when I say I'm asking you all these things, I have asked myself, some stuff I show up to, some stuff I don't. And so the question still is asked of me. I ask myself quite often, what am I doing to help promote? Now, what I will say, even like my oldest son, so he's HVAC, and so I have his cards in my purse. I got my barber's cards in my purse. I got my makeup artist in my cards in my purse. So I still do that, even though I've been out of the business 10 years now. So I know. And it's just like, okay, well, how old are you actually? But I say that all the time too. So if you've tapped into a couple of these video segments, I'm free with me saying how old I am. But yes, 20 years in the beauty and barber salon, and I've been retired out of that 10 already. So, so even the last 10 years that I have been out of the business, I still carry around. It's a habit that I'm not going to break. And anyone who I know has business cards, my brother's a DJ, his business cards is in my bag. My girlfriend who does the catering and the cakes, her business cards is in my bag. I think the promoter in me is going to always exist because I love creative folk. I am in love with creative folk. And no, not romantically or sexually. Please let's broaden that scope. When somebody say they love you does not mean they want to hump you. It could truly be genuine, authentic respect and just wanting to endorse the network, the neighborhood network, because there's a difference too. And anyone who has set up to provide product and service inside the neighborhood, you got to remember that they up against these conglomerates. You got to know this. 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 It really is not about you sitting in that stylish chair just so she can cover booth rent. It is not about you buying that book from the creative just so she can go shopping. It's deeper than that. It's much deeper than that. And then at the end of the day, we still are all 6 degrees separated and close. Try that simultaneously. Come on. We got to know that Target is not the only ones around here that is inside of this economic grid, this economic Rubik cube, doing some things. There are neighborhood, um, and I'm not even I don't even think I can call them businesses, and not because they're not businesses, but because they're a little bit more than that. We have folks that are inside of the neighborhood collective that is taking portions of their proceeds from things that they write and create and produce and publish, and they're literally feeding the hungry and helping to somehow shelter the homeless, whether it's the temporary homeless or the chronic homeless. They are channeling these funds and they are dispersing it along a routing system that we seem to be slow to acknowledge requires our vibrancy. It requires that we invest into it. It's requiring that. I found out some very disturbing news yesterday. One of my favorite people did a live and told us, and she set up an entire online university, and that people were doing they were buying her content, the electron. See, and everybody get on me about me being hesitant to be having these commerce transaction on these virtual airways, but that's another story for another time. Because in certain circumstances, that really is the only marketplace available to a lot of our solopreneurs. But she's an entrepreneur. Like she got several different types and kinds of streams of income. Even though it all blends into this beautiful platform, it's still different channels by which she's doing things. Folks is buying her stuff and then doing a chargeback. What kind of Bama ass shit is that? So I did say I'm going to try to see if I can get word to her to see how she feel about non-refundable. Oh. Okay, well, hold on. Okay. Because right as I was saying that, all these cards spill out all over the place. Let's see. Interesting. Let's see, because I know one fell on the. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's get into it. Let me finish what I was going to say. That, like, the corner store with I'm not going to do that either. But you can't return much of nothing around these parts. The only ones that have the refundable thing going on are the bigger conglomerates where they can afford to charge offs. But the mom and pops, this stuff not refundable. It's not refundable. There's not well, I would yes you can, because I was about to say you can't even take classes at the community college and return and get a refund, but you can in a certain amount of time. I think maybe because of that slickness, that the way she received funds, especially for that type of original content, might have to be done a different way. But I've been noticing, um, I can't say it's a trend just yet because it's only been one or two people that I've heard that that happens with, where people will order online, do the little electronic transaction, and then do the chargeback thing. And then it makes me wonder, like, do the banks understand that this is a thing? But then I don't believe that they really worried about it because of the influx of, and I'm just gonna call them mom and pop setups. No, because see, that makes it seem like they're kind of unofficial. Um, the smaller commerce, I can't think of the word. I can't think of a word right now. The boutiques, the boutique services, Night of Cups. Who's caring about the boutique services? Who's making sure that they are not being taken advantage of in these cyber streets? Because the incredible part about it is the boutique services, products and services, the proprietors of the boutique products and services are the ones standing in the gap to make sure that folks are fed and sheltered. And you got these big ass conglomerates like Target and Giant and Neiman Marcus. And yeah, they throwing out good food, throwing it in the trash and walking. They will step over you, you homeless. The executive will come right out of that building, step over you, and get in its car that's being driven by somebody else. Let's talk about these cards that then came out. So it's the Temperance card, the Page of Pentacles, Three of Cups, the Page of Wands, and I don't even know why I'm putting them up because you can't even really see them. The Hierophant and the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. Okay. All right. This still ties into my series talking about divine chaos and the Vineyard Creatrix, who also doubles as the freelancer and the solopreneur. My photographers, my painters, artists, sculptors, potters, my bands, the local bands in the DMV area. Oh, that is something beautiful. It really is. And it's not just the go go bands, but it's them too. It's a highly unique scene that is full of synergy, and yet and still they have to tour and they have to book gigs and they have to maintain clientele base, and they too require promotion. Knight of Cups, Temperance, Page of Pentacles. Knight of Cups, Temperance, Page of Pentacles. Knight of Cups, we got to care more about the promotional value. Like, the word on the street used to carry a little bit more sustenance about what was going down in the neighborhood at the time. And the temperance means that there ought to be balance. Everybody should not have to pay for advertisement if it's part of the neighborhood. Really, all you have to do is say you going to so and so's whatever, whatever later, or tomorrow, or next month, or mark your calendars, or let me give you this flyer. Here's a business card. Woo, woo, woo. How much effort does that take? And imagine how it could travel if Everybody did that for those who are inside of these creative spaces, needing the grapevine to light up for them. Page of Pentacles, because in those spaces, the coins come in at a much slower rate. But the Three of Cups says the grapevine is going to light up for you. That's what the Three of Cups says. Page of Wands and the Three of Cups says not only is the grapevine going to light up for you, but it's going to light up for you with authentic passion. We are going to talk about your band that's getting ready to play tomorrow night. And we're going to be enthusiastically telling everyone. But you got to get the word out. The word has to travel. So then that's why I started this segment with asking, is it easier to not say anything? Is it easier to not promote versus promote? What makes you want to promote and endorse your cousin's band or your husband's t-shirt business or your nephew's distribution of the go-go tapes, like, or your niece's clothing line or your daughter's signature eyelash line, like, and you see them in the basement, in the garage, in the attic. You see them producing. Every time you stop by, they are doing whatever it is that they into. So when you see these things, what stops you from saying, hey, give me a couple of them business cards? What stop you from saying you got a flyer for the next show? What stop you from saying put me on your email list, and so that I can know and get hit up when you get ready to do something? And let me tell you, my sister and my stepmom, my brother's a DJ. He's been a DJ for a very long time, generational. And I'm only saying my big sister and my stepmom right now because those are the two that's coming to mind when I say that they show up to all my brother's stuff and they make sure that everybody they know knows that my brothers actually, because it's two of my brothers, they tag team. They have a DJ network that they started. They make sure everybody knows when my brothers are playing and where they gonna be at. And if there's a flyer, they are passing it out. We gotta light the grapevine up. We gotta light it up. And if we're not lighting it up, I think that's why I come here to say why. So the Hierophant and the Ace of Pentacles. I think we are reaching a moment where we are being required to look at the Hierophant in a different manner, especially when we're talking about the grapevine, the vineyard creatrix, those that create for the neighborhood, those that support and supply and produce and cultivate the neighborhood. Probably gonna leave it there. I'm probably gonna leave it there. But if you feel led to, you can rewind this and allow those questions to ask you again. And if you don't need asking again, what I'm hoping is that it will spark the inspiration to begin gathering up. And you can just get an envelope. Here's one of my favorite ones, but it's a little worn right now. It's a little wear and tear. But this is like the pocket, and it has little flaps and shit. So you know you can do this so everything won't escape. Especially if you have means to, if you have a vehicle, you got a duffel bag with, you know, you have, especially you have a business duffel bag where you already carrying your promotional material. Yeah, I got all kinds of stuff in here. This is my little grab bag. Hmm. Okay. I even got sets of these. I even got these little things in here. But yeah, I have this one, and I have another one, but I'm not getting ready to get up. And this example is good enough because even if you have yours in here, and and this is the way that and not saying that you have to do it like this. You don't have to do nothing. I'm uh, sharing ideas on how we can do just a itty bitty little better time with how we light this grapevine up, rekindling the grapevine, because more and more of our kinfolk are stepping out on faith and courage to spark their dream. And most often it fizzles out by lack of support. And support is not always financial. So I was getting ready to do something. What was I getting ready to do? I forgot just that quick. Shucks. I don't remember. All right, well, that's for me to end it here. Because I don't remember. Let me just put this out here real quick. Just because. Just because. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that just absolutely beautiful? Just beautiful. Like, we got to get back to center. That's the grapevine, honey. That's the DMV grapevine. That's one of the originals, right? All right. And I just wanted to say it just because. But and look at what's on the bottom of the deck. The sun. The sun will come out tomorrow. Da-da-da-da-da-da, tomorrow. Da-da-da. Tomorrow. I love you. Tomorrow. I don't know the rest of it. You're always a day away. Light up the grapevine for your folks, peeps. And until next time, I wish you well.